Mahalo.
Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? So I just put down this headband because sometimes people don't think I'm patriotic. I'm not sure why. You probably won't know from my jokes. But just to preempt this, I want you to know that I'm very patriotic. So my name is actually Maha Hilal. I never really know what people call me. I like whatever you just called me up here. I have no idea who that is. That's not me. My name is Maha. And everyone always gets it wrong. And the sounds in my name actually exist in English, right? It shouldn't be so difficult for people in this country to pronounce, but yet it is, and it's been the bane of my existence. So I've gotten things like Maja, Mihi, Macha, and when I was in middle school, there was this kid, obviously I'm still traumatized because I was 12 and I still remember this. He'd see me in the hall and he'd be like, so strange. And I think it was in that moment that I realized that if I have kids and I need to name them, I'm going to be doing focus groups. Test opportunities. Because this is a painful existence. So did anyone hear about de Blasio on the cusp of announcing his presidency run? Well, I just want you to know that I'm also announcing my presidency run next week. Because there's obviously a shortage of Democratic candidates. And I feel like they need some diversity. So I'm going to be running, and then it will also complicate those conversations on, the Muslim terrorists, what are we going to do with them? Or how are we going to use them as a means to an end? All of those conversations, it's going to get much more complicated when they have to deal with one in their face. So when I was growing up, I often got a lot of stupid questions, okay? Because I started wearing the scarf when I was 12. Also, you already heard about my name. And so I'm Egyptian, so people would ask me, do you speak Egyptian? And I'm like, I don't know, do you speak American? Is that how it translates? Then they'd ask me, do you walk like an Egyptian? I was like, do you walk like every photo pose you've ever been in? Or painting? Is that how you walk around? Why would I walk around like that? Also, you've never seen me walk around like that. So don't ask me. And then people would ask me things like, what do Muslims believe? I'm like, okay, I understand not being able to say my name, which I actually don't understand, but whatever. But Muslim is spelled M-U-S-L-I-M. What is the problem? I'm not Muslim, I'm Muslim. But I'm guessing Muslims have similar beliefs, since you keep asking me about that. I'm guessing. So today I was at home watching CNN. I know. Bad idea, always a bad idea. And there's a show called Scary People. And I was like, oh, okay, that was interesting. The subject of this particular episode was Jim Jones, who was a cult leader, who moved his cult to Guyana, and they all committed a mass suicide in 1978. The show was called Scary People. I'm pretty sure that level of behavior is way more than scary. That's not just, oh, I'm a little scared of you, like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do if I cross the street at the wrong time. No, this is psycho behavior. And it was really shocking that this show, and I looked at all the other episodes, coincidentally were white people doing scary things, like killing other people. Right? So this reminds me of an actual scary white guy, okay? Like, this is low-key scary behavior. So I was at Panera with my friend, and we had saved a seat for another friend of ours. And he insisted that the chair was his. And he needed to bring back the chair to his table. And we kept saying, no, sir, we have a friend who's coming. And then he proceeded to almost dump my friend's stuff on the ground. And so I started getting really annoyed, and I'm like, look, we're no longer in the colonial times. I'm like, I think you might think we are. And the way America behaves in this world, you probably still might think we are, but we're not, and that's not how things work anymore. You don't just go and say, this is mine, so it's yours. So he kept bothering us until the manager had to come over and explain to him, not in my colonial terms, but he said, we'll just give you another chair. And I was just shocked. Like, this man could have picked any other chair in the goddamn restaurant. But it had, I mean, for some reason, I think it was bringing up this, like, Make America colonial again. And then he saw me and my other friend, and we're not white, and so he thought he could take our things. And it was a really sad day for him, and I was sad for him too. It's not how things work anymore, right? So I have a really bad memory, so that's why I have this sheet here. So one thing I really like about white people, and I've dealt with a lot over the course of my life, is that they really like being oppressed. Okay? They really like feeling marginalized, because then that allows them to connect with people that are actually marginalized. The only problem with that is 1 minute they're getting like a parking ticket, next minute you're in prison, and somehow they don't see the difference. They don't understand how the marginalization worked out a little differently. And this keeps happening. This was actually reminiscent of my PhD program, where I had like a miserable time from hell. And this one girl just didn't get a fellowship, and she thought we were on the same playing field. And I was like, not really, I've been in therapy for 5 years. But all you had to do in therapy was for that one fellowship you didn't get. That's cool. So, on the note of my PhD program, it was from hell. And I got particularly targeted. Well, number one, I was doing research on Muslim Americans being targeted. So I think my department thought it would be a valuable experience for me to have lived experience. Because how better to do research than to be the subject of your own research? I mean, it seemed complicated at the time, but in retrospect, I understand. So they would tell me, because I'm Muslim and Arab, that because I wanted to do research on other Muslims, that somehow I was inherently biased, and the white people were just objective and neutral, because you know how that works. This in particular came from a white professor who had police hats from all over the world in his office. And I'm like, there's only two explanations here. Either you're A, just ignoring your own bias, or B, you think white people and the police are the same thing, and that therefore means you're not subjective. I guess it's the latter. Because in my whole time, I was just the subjective, biased one, and the white people just, they just didn't have any opinions. They were just observing things. Okay, the rest of us, Matt, don't trust us with our research. Oh boy. So I was in this meeting one time. Okay, I think I'm coming to an end. So I'm going to say two more things. One thing is, I was in the meeting this one time, and I was talking about being Muslim and doing the work of countering Islamophobia, and I said, we need to have protocols in place to protect the Muslims in this organization. And this white guy on the board was like, well, I'm outspoken too. And I said, yes, but you're white. And then he said, well, I'll beg to get arrested. I'll do whatever it takes. Okay. And I was like, dude, at this point, I will also beg for you to get arrested. And I will be your campaign manager. Pro bono. Okay, pro bono. I will do this for free. Okay? And the last thing I'm going to say is, I read this article about this white woman in California calling the police on a Latinx man because he looked illegal. And at first I thought, oh, that's ridiculous and racist. And then I thought, oh, wait, that's probably how the indigenous people felt when they saw her ancestors. That she and her ancestors looked illegal. And then it all made sense. Okay? So I was able to, understand her racism. Because that's what you have to do with white people. You don't talk about yourself, you just talk about other white people, right? You just talk about how white people are being impacted. And Sheila wants me to get off the stage. So the last thing I'll say is tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. There was a meme that I saw that said, sorry. I saw this meme that said ways to celebrate Cinco de Mayo if you're not Latinx. Don't think about it, just don't celebrate it. Okay, just don't do it, don't celebrate it, you don't have to participate, it's all good, no one will miss you. Okay, thanks.